Hey guys, and welcome back to the Jess Chattin podcast. If you're new here, thank you so much for deciding to join me today. But if you are a returning listener, thank you so much for coming back. So I'm currently recording this on my camera. So this is actually going to be put on YouTube, and it's actually going to go on video format as well on Spotify. So if you are watching me, see my gorgeous face. But if you are listening, I just hope that you're up to something good, whether you're listening to me on your walk, while you're on the drive home from work, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a good time as well. So yeah, it's actually been a while since I've actually done a YouTube video as well. So funny enough, I'm actually recording this episode, and then after I record this episode, I'm actually going to do like a live catch up for YouTube. So yeah, if you're watching this as well, hopefully everything will kind of make sense. But yes, this is like a long awaited video, so or long awaited episode, because this was actually something I was recording the day before my birthday in March, and then I pressed record on my camera. It was like 5 minutes in, and then my camera battery decided to die, so that wasn't a vibe. So I'm now recording this like nearly a month later, but it is still, I promised people I would do this episode, so here we are. So for those of you who may not know, I turned 30 last month. Oh, so yeah, I turned 30 last month, and it's been a very amazing journey, I think, so far. I think like the last month has been quite good. I got to spend like my birthday with my family. I actually recently moved apartment here in London as well, so there's been like a lot of change, but also for the good and for the better as well. And I'm feeling good as well. I'm feeling good in a mental capacity as well, so I think that is also a bonus. But when I was thinking about recording an episode to kind of like celebrate my 30th birthday, because obviously it's a huge milestone, and I thought, you know, some of you guys might have been listening to the Jess Chattin podcast since it first launched back in, I think, May or June of 2021. So it was like a few weeks out from my first ever bodybuilding show, and here we are nearly 2 years later. So I was like, I want to share this milestone with you guys. So I asked people on Instagram what they would prefer to see, and I think the two choices I gave them, let me just get up I have my phone out in front of me if anyone's listening to me and is not looking at me. So I give people two options in terms of what podcast episode they would like to see. So I gave people a choice of the 30 best decisions I've ever made in my life, or 30 things I wish I knew sooner. And as you will see from the title of this video or this episode, the one option that won the most votes was 30 things I wish I knew sooner. So in my head, I was kind of like, 30 things I wish I knew sooner. That's gonna be like so easy to do. Absolutely not. It was really, really hard to do. I got to about like 15 and I was like, how am I supposed to think of 30 things? And to be honest, I was trying to think of 30 things in the last 10 years of my life. So when I actually kind of decided to broaden that range and be like, okay, what have I actually achieved in the last 30 years of my life? And then when I started kind of like going through things, everything kind of became a lot clearer. So here, right in front of me, I have a list. Okay, look, my screen looks my screen is actually not broken, for anyone can see that like in the video. This is just like, they're like bubbles on screen, so my phone is fine. But I have a list here of 30 items or 30 things that I wish I knew sooner. But hopefully some of these don't overlap. I will not probably go obviously into exact detail in every single one of these, because otherwise this will be a very long video. But I'm gonna kind of like, you know, give little snippets of each little point. So without further ado, if you don't currently have a cup of tea or a glass of water, if you're watching me, like grab that now before we get tucked into this, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, let's just like get straight into it. So the first thing I would say, and this is actually the first thing that came to mind, which is so strange, but number one is being lean isn't everything. Now I have done a social media post on this, but just at the time when I was writing this, so this was back on the 15th of March, that was the first thing that came to mind. When I started my fitness journey in like July 2019, I thought like, I was kind of in my head was driving just to, you know, improve my strength, build a bit of muscle tissue. And, you know, I think over the last like course of whatever, that's nearly like 4 years ago now. And I think over the course of the last 4 years, with the bodybuilding shows that I've done, with my photo shoots and everything, I think people might perceive that like being lean equals happiness, and it really, really isn't. I am so proud of myself and the, you know, with all the achievements I've made with my physique over the last 4 years. My body is now in a completely different position to even where it was like 6 months ago. But, and I, of course, as I said, I'm so proud of all my achievements, but I suppose when it comes to being staging or like doing a fitness photo shoot, being that level of leanness doesn't bring you happiness. It didn't bring me happiness, I suppose, as well. You know, definitely challenging yourself through competing or doing photo shoots is completely rewarding, but realizing that when it gets to stage level lean, like that isn't a sustainable physique to maintain. So I think it's looking at your priorities and looking at what actually makes you happy. But I think sometimes I definitely felt over, you know, particularly at the start of my fitness journey, is that I thought if I was lean and if I had like ab definition or muscle definition that I would be happier, but sometimes it doesn't always guarantee it. And I think like when you achieve a certain goal or something, you're not guaranteed anything. Like it's kind of like if you climb the highest mountain in the world, you might in your head think this is such an amazing achievement, I'm gonna feel X, Y, and Z when you do it. But sometimes when you reach it, you might be like, oh, I thought I'd expect more, you know? Like, of course, being lean can be really great. It can sometimes boost confidence, but it's not the be all and end all of happiness. Number 2, you can't change a person. This is very interesting. I think this comes down to, I suppose, the reason why I thought of this was from my people-pleasing point of view. You cannot change anyone. You can try and change yourself and change the person that you are as you go through growth, as you grow. That's just part of life. But I think if you ever get into a situation, whether it's you meet this person in your life, whether it's in a romantic setting, whether it's in a friendship setting, and you feel like you want to change them, you're like, I'm going to change them, I'm going to change their views, change their values, don't bother. Like, you cannot change people. I think that's something I definitely learned from probably from my previous relationships, that I thought I could change people, and really you can't. So yeah, I could probably go into a whole bloody one episode on that, but I'm not going to. Number 3, you need to look after your mental health. This is something I've definitely been prioritizing over the last, I'd say, probably 2 months. I think about where I was like mentally 2 months ago, and I'm completely different to what I am now. I'm in a different place, but I suppose I do look after myself a lot better than what I was back in February and March, and actually in the lead up to my birthday I probably wasn't in the best place mentally or physically. Thankfully, after making some small changes since I've moved apartment, and feeling a lot more better for it as well. But I do think people really need to start prioritizing their mental health a lot more, and I think it's great that we are talking about therapy, we're talking about, you know, stress management, self-care, all those kind of things as well, a lot more. But yeah, I do feel like that mental health is something that you should never be rushing to the side. You know, if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you are feeling anxious, please talk to someone, you know, get the support that you need. Number 4, you use less excuses. I think we always use excuses like, I'm so busy, and I don't have time for that, and you know, I don't want to do that, whatever. It's just like, if you want something in life, just really go for it. Stop using excuses. Like, I think sometimes you need to like put on your big girl pants and be like, am I really using busy as an excuse? Like, I get it, like for a lot of people, we do, like, everyone has different responsibilities, everyone has different roles in life as well. But sometimes to identify when you're actually busy versus probably being lazy or not being as disciplined as what you'd hope to be, like, try and catch yourself when you're using some excuses as well. Like, you know, sometimes I think we sometimes think that we're overworked or we're overtired and stuff, and you know, again, that's something that's a whole different topic altogether. But I do feel like, you know, I definitely used a lot of excuses in the past. So if it came to creating content, I was like, oh, well, sure, I need to wash my hair. You know, when I need to create content, it's like even like today, I'm kind of like, oh, just put a bit of dry shampoo and it should be fine. So I think always try and, like, where possible, try to use less excuses, because if you want something, you will actually go for it as well. And if you are using excuses, it may just be the reason that, I suppose, it kind of help you identify if you actually want that particular goal or not. And that kind of leads on to number 5, stop procrastinating. You waste so much time. You will end up regretting so much if you don't actually achieve your goal because you've been procrastinating. Like, if you're sitting on the couch here and, you know, you're watching like 3 hours of Netflix, and then you're wondering, oh god, why am I not achieving my fitness goals? It's like, well, you could be going out for a walk, you could be going to the gym, you could be prioritizing meal prep, etc. Like, there's so many different things. So I think, like, as I said, if you want something in life, you will always try and make it work. That's what I always say. 6, you need to have goals. This was actually quite interesting because back in January and February, I didn't really have any specific goals. but I do feel like over the last while it's kind of like you need to have something to work towards. I think it's great, like, you know, just trying to like wing it and float along. And this, again, this could be taken to any aspect of life. It could be fitness, career, whatever. But I do feel like you should be trying to have some bit of goals, some bit of like, you know, aim in life. You know, even if you don't have any like specific like fitness goals or career goals, even just being like, right, I'm just going to show up and do these habits every single day. My goal is to be consistent. Like, being consistent is a goal. So I definitely would try and like look at your current life right now, look at the person that you want to be. If you don't have any goals, like, again, it doesn't have to be like a big massive metric. It's just something that you're like, this is something that I am working on or working towards. Because I do feel like it kind of it's that thing that gets you out of bed every day and kind of gets you moving. So yeah, I would definitely look at it if you don't have any like specific goals right now, just to think about what you actually want in life. Number 7, reach out for help. Just with whatever it is. I don't like, you know, I think a lot of us try and suffer in silence. I'm that person, and again, that's why I wrote this down, because usually when I'm suffering from my mental health, I turn into this complete like inward person. I come across very like extrovert online. I come across like a big like confident person, but when I'm suffering in silence, I mean I'm suffering in silence. Like, sometimes I can hide it very well. I think that's my coping mechanism, is to hide things. My fear is that I always will upset someone if I like, you know, upsetting my friends or my family if I tell them exactly how I feel. So I don't really open up that much, and sometimes it might feel like that I'm opening up on YouTube or that I'm opening up on Instagram and stuff, but really I'm not. It's a huge coping mechanism, and it's something that I will be trying to do a lot more of, particularly on YouTube, particularly my podcast, is actually be a little bit more like, I keep talking about like authenticity, I keep talking about being vulnerable, but I'm not. It's like surface level. And I suppose, guys, if you listen to any of my podcast episodes back in like October, December, like I talked about like how I was like feeling, you know, trying to figure things out. I was feeling really stuck and stagnant, and I definitely was at that time, and I couldn't be vulnerable because I wasn't being honest with myself. I wasn't actually like reaching out for help and recognizing that I needed support. Whereas now, over the last like few months, I have been reaching out to help. I've been way more honest with the people that are around me, because I know that they care about me. And I knew that what I was feeling wasn't particularly, you know, quote unquote normal. But again, there's no such thing as normal, you know. But yeah, just reach out for help, whether that's with fitness, your mental health, career, etc. Number 8, social media is not a social connection. Just because I'm posting a video here on social media does not mean this is like a social interaction. I work alone, which is really, really tough. I have my clients, but I'm supposed, like, I talk to them via like our training app. I talk to them if it's like on a Zoom call, but it's not social interaction. You can have all the Instagram friends, but who out of those Instagram friends that you have, you'd actually ring up on the phone and be like, hey, do you want to meet for a coffee? Probably 0 of them. So if you are like talking to people on WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is, start taking those connections offline and actually have social interactions in real life. I've spent the last 10 years of my life online with my blogging, with content creation, with my coaching business, etc. And you know, like, and again, this is something that I realize, is that like I don't have many friends, and I don't need many friends, to be totally honest. Like, I like you guys, do you know what I mean? We're friends here. I love my little online community, which I am really trying to build this year as well. So you know, and I obviously, like, if anyone comments on my videos or comments on my reels, like, you genuinely don't know how each comment means to me. And I hope that I get to a stage where like maybe I am having a really engaged community and I can actually see some of you guys in real life. That would honestly be the dream. But yeah, for now I'm just trying to like, I suppose, manage my time effectively with spending my time online, spending my time offline as well. So that's just something that I'm working on. Number 9 is look after yourself before others. I'm such a big people pleaser. Doesn't probably help that I'm a coach and I help people with their fitness and lifestyle. But something that I've definitely been working on over the last like 3 months is prioritizing myself over my clients. Now again, like, I mean this in the most like, you know, not honest way. Like, again, you were always going, it's like saying I prioritize myself over my job, I prioritize myself over whatever. I still give my clients the same dedication as what they would have been getting over the last 2 years anyway. But I cannot be the best coach and I can't show up for them if I'm not showing up for myself. So I really do try and like set boundaries, try and be like switch off, and it's particularly the weekends were always my biggest struggle. But I'm learning that like when it comes to like a Friday evening or even a Friday afternoon, if I've checked my messages, if there's nobody's messaged me, I'm like, that's me done. Like, I need to switch off for the weekend. I need to allow myself that bit of rest time as well. So just with anything, as I said, like, you cannot show up and do the best job in your like job. Sorry, you can't do your best performance in your job if you're not looking after yourself as well. So always try to look after yourself before you look after others as well. As I always say to people, it's like when you're on an airplane and they say, you know, when they're doing like the safety thing, and they're like, oh, put on your own mask before you tend to others. So it's like applying that same principle into real life. Number 10, your job doesn't define you. I think that's something that I think, particularly for anyone here that's from Ireland, I don't know about any other cultures, but definitely in Ireland, when you meet someone for this first time, it's like, oh, hey, how are you? Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, so what's your name? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so what do you do? It's like usually the third or fourth question that anyone ever asks someone that you've like met for the first time. And it can sometimes be so like, it's just this question, you're like, why is that defining me? So regardless of what you do, if you are an accountant, if you are a coach, a marketer, business owner, whatever, just know that that's a part of you, but it's not the whole package of you. Remember that there's other parts of you as well. And I think that's something I'm really trying to do a lot this year. I'm trying to, like, yes, I am a coach, but it's not my 100% of my personality. I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a dancer, I'm a person that's interested in fitness, I'm a content creator, I'm a marketer, whatever you want to call me. There's so many parts of me. And yeah, I think that's something that we should definitely just be trying to normalize, is that like there's more to someone than just their career. So number 11, confidence comes from within. Confidence does not come from a dress size or when you reach a certain number and scales, etc, etc. It comes from learning, it comes from growth, it comes from overcoming obstacles. It comes from within. So like some people, particularly in fitness, will try to like change their physique and that's when they'll feel confident. It's like, no, it's when you start enjoying your life, when you start achieving your goals, when it's, you know, when you actually just stop caring what other people think, like literally stop caring what other people think, that's when the confidence comes out. Like I, for example, like I have really bright hair, as we will see, like it's bright pink and orange, for God's sake. And I know a lot of people will stop me like in the street and like a lot of people will say like, oh my God, you have so much confidence to do it. And I always actually, it's something I always say to people. I'm like, well, why don't you do it? Oh no, I can never do that. I'm like, well, you never could, because you're giving yourself that limiting belief. So if you never could, if you never like would, you'll never know. Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. So I'm kind of like, just understand that confidence comes from within. It doesn't come from external factors. It's something that you have to realize and kind of be on that journey yourself. Number 12, I'm hopefully getting through these okay. So number 12, happiness is a destination. I don't actually like this now, to be fair. I actually wrote down happiness is a destination, not an end goal. Yes, sorry, that's what I meant. Okay, so that's what I was trying to figure out what I meant there. But yeah, happiness is a destination or a journey, if you will. It's not the end goal. I think we always strive to be happy. It's kind of like, oh, when we have X, I'll be happy. When I have X, I'll be happy, or when I have Y, I'll be happy. Happiness doesn't come from a soul thing. It comes from the true presentness of, the true joy of being present. I think, as I said, it's like, oh, when I get that new car, then I'll be happy. When I get that new iPhone, I'll be happy. It doesn't come from the physical objects. Like happiness, it comes from like the true like enjoyment of day-to-day life. It comes from like the most simplest of things. And I think we need to stop trying to think that like, oh, once we have certain amount of things in our life, whether it's, you know, of material value, whatever, that's going to bring us happiness. Sometimes it's not always that way. So number 13, it's okay to fail. I am a huge believer in that failure is actually good. You know, if I list off my failures to you from the last like week, we could be here all day, but you wouldn't know. Because failures allow you to grow, they allow you to learn and just, you know, strive for better things in life. And I think, you know, failure is allowing you to kind of maybe like, you know, realign things, observe what kind of went wrong and allow you to be like, okay, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to change. So failure is good. Allow it to come. Allow it to happen. Because again, no journey in life is ever smooth sailing. Number 14, you can't please everyone. This is something that I think a lot of us do. Oh my God, a lot of us do. Oh my God, I still try and do this a lot. Particularly with my content at the moment on Instagram, I think like I was kind of striving to be like, oh well, I need to like post this content and that'll help everyone. If I post this type of content, it'll help everyone. And I'm just like, I can't. Like, you physically, no matter who you are, you cannot please everyone. It's like saying I'm going to be friends with everyone. You can't be friends with everyone. There's going to be people that you just don't like, and that is okay. Like, there's literally billions of people on this planet. Why would you try and keep everyone happy? Because everyone has different interests, different values, and different goals in life, and whatever. Like, there's probably a lot of people that don't like me. That is okay. I'm not here to try and please everyone, as much as I try and tell myself that. But I think you need to remember is that, like, you can't please everyone. It's not, you're going to waste so much time and energy trying to keep others happy when you should be focusing on yourself. So yeah. Number 15, guys, we're halfway there. Social media is not real life. So I know, like, a lot of people right now, and particularly for anyone that you might be following in terms of content on like YouTube, Instagram, we are all trying to be more authentic and be more real and be more honest and all that jazz, and it is great. But also remember is that, like, still even though we're trying to be more authentic, more honest, you know, online, still remember that it's still probably a little bit of highlights. There's probably other bits that people don't share. And like, even like this video, for example, or this podcast, like, I could go back and edit all this, but I'm just gonna literally just post the whole thing. So I'm like, this is really just me being honest and thinking really on the spot while looking at this list. But yeah, just always remember, like, you never know what's going on behind a screen. You never know what's going on behind a reel or a phone or whatever. So just, you know, always remember that you just don't know what's going on in someone's life. Number 16 is be more present. Again, that's something that does take time. As I said, I live on my phone. I remember there was someone who told me, they were like, oh my god, my screen time is like 4 hours. I'm like, my screen time is like a minimum of 8 hours a day. Now, again, when it comes to, for example, and this is why I spend so much time on my phone, is obviously on Instagram. Yeah, I'm scrolling through TikTok, I'm scrolling through Instagram stories as well. Before I go to bed, I usually watch a bit of ASMR on YouTube because I'm obsessed. I think I might try ASMR, I won't lie. So if you're on YouTube and you would like to see me do an ASMR roleplay, leave a comment below because I definitely would be up for it. We're all about trying new things. So what was the point? Yeah, to be more present. Was that it? Yeah, to be more present. Yeah, my screen time is like ridiculously high, but I do feel like I am trying to be a little more observant, to be like, right, let's put the phone away, let's keep it away from when I'm at work. Let's try and, I suppose like the thing I've been trying to do over the last like few days in particular is actually tell myself nobody has messaged me. Like, I actually have to tell myself that nobody's messaged me, because otherwise I'll just keep picking up my phone and be like, oh, did he message? Oh, did she message? You know? Just, it's exhausting. So just learn to be more present. Find other things off the phone and off the camera that are going to bring you happiness. Number 17, don't give up. Whatever it is, if you just started your fitness journey 3 days ago, keep going. If you are currently trying to like find a job and you're sending out 1 million applications a day, keep going. If you are trying to grow your page to like 1,000 followers, be it or like on Instagram, or like to 100 subscribers here on YouTube, keep going. Do not give up. Don't allow yourself to stop, because if you stop, yes, you fail. It does allow you to grow, but you just never know. Something that is, I think it's talked about in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, is that, like, you know, if you were to get like a big like block of ice, and if you were to chip away at it, and you're chipping away 99 chips, and then on the 100th chip it's kind of like the actual ice cube breaks, but you don't know if it was the 99 before that helped, or it's just that one. So think about that for a second. 18, build honesty, or sorry, be honest to build trust. So again, as I said, this is something I'm trying to do with you guys as well, here on YouTube, my podcast, my Instagram, just all over, just basically me all over the internet, to be totally honest. I'm trying to be more honest and try to be more myself on here as well, because I just really want to like just be more, find myself more as well, I suppose, because I definitely don't feel like I'm being my true authentic self online and offline. So I think I'm kind of in that process of figuring that out, if that makes sense. Probably will go into that in a deeper video, but I do feel like building being honest with people around you does build trust. And I do, as I said, like even me being more honest with my friends and my family, I do feel like that is building the trust with those connections as well. So I do feel like, again, be honest with if you are a creator, be honest with your followers, you know, be honest with your coach. If you're working with someone, you know, be honest with your customers or your friends, family, whatever it is. It will just strengthen your connection a lot more. Again, be it online or offline. 19, trust your gut. So you have 3 hearts, 3 heads. You have your, three brains. You have, 3 heads. Yeah, you have your 3 head. Oh my God, what is it? I think you have 3 brains essentially. You have your head, brain, your heart, and your gut. And you know, they say like, oh, well, your head's obviously going to take very analytically, your heart's going to be very like emotional, and then you have your gut as well. So that's usually going like, you know that's saying like you trust your gut. You don't trust your heart, because like we know that we're always going to be broken-hearted, like myself. So sometimes you just have to remember to sometimes just trust your gut with whatever decision that you need to make. Is that like your head might say something, your heart might say something, but again, it's whatever sometimes your gut tells you is probably what you need to do. Number 20, nearly there guys, we are nearly there. Do the hard things to grow. Yes, so sometimes the most difficult things that you have to do, or whether it's that you need to change, doing the hard things will allow you to grow. I think if you try and think things are easy, like you're not going to get anywhere really in most aspects of life. But sometimes you just get over the hard bits to make things easier. And that's why I always say to people when they're starting, particularly a fitness journey, is that it'll be hard once you start, because you will be changing a lot of aspects. But once you're in a consistent routine, once you're keeping up to your habits, once you're just improving your overall adherence, things will get easier. So you sometimes have to do the hard things to make things easy. Number 21, this kind of relates back to an earlier point, but being busy is a decision. Like, you saying I'm busy is you are deciding that. You have a choice whether you say that or not. You can choose, like, I suppose, like how you kind of perceive that as well. But if you are someone who just says you're constantly busy, and like, again, I don't want to like single out anyone, but I'm that person today being like, oh my God, I'm so busy, but really I'm not. Does anyone ever just say, oh my God, I'm so busy, but you're actually not? It always happens. We always do it. So try and cop yourself out and be like, oh, do you know what? Am I really busy, or am I just not bloody arsed to do whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing, or that I could be doing, but I actually just don't want to. I'm just going to use the excuse I'm busy. So try and be more aware of your excuses. Again, I'll lead back to the earlier point, but if you're using busyness as an excuse, it's kind of like, well, if you're so busy to do X, Y, and Z, how come you're able to like look TikTok for like 4 hours? So again, we all do it, but just be honest with yourself as well. Where are we now? Number 22, say no more. Again, this come back down to people pleasing and stuff, but try and catch yourself out when you feel like you're just trying to say yes just to keep people happy, or just saying yes because it's the easier option. Again, do the hard things, say no. You know, and even if someone like has asked you, let's say for example, like there's that acquaintance, that kind of person that's in your life that you're like, they're not really a friend, you know, and you're kind of like, how do I get out of this? Do I just keep telling them I'm busy and that hopefully they'll go away or whatever? Just say no. Like, I know that sounds harsh, but like obviously say no in a nice way. Like, just be kind, you know, to everyone. You know, it's tough world out there. But I think sometimes you just have, like, I think, and I suppose this actually relates a lot back to the dating side of things as well, and kind of avoid that feeling of being ghosted or being the ghoster. Like, being the ghoster is kind of like, is obviously, well, I would say from my perspective, it's tough. But I do try and, like, it's something that I will be trying to do as well. So like, if I'm dating someone, or I'm dating someone and it doesn't work out, I will be telling them to, you know, look, fortunately it's not working out, or whatever. Like, I just think ghosting is such a horrible thing as well, and it does happen both in romantic setting and in friendships as well. So, but I do feel like just saying no in any aspect, even in like a career aspect as well, is that, like, always know your worth as well. I hope that didn't sound too negative. So number 23, self-love is more important than any relationship. This is something I always say to clients, that the most important relationship that you will ever have in life is with yourself. Yes, you will have your friends, your family, your partners or whatever, but you are the only person that you're going to spend technically the rest of your life with. So you should be giving yourself the same love and attention as what you give to those around you. So how I like to try and kind of explain this to clients is that, like, you know, think of you as your best friend. You know, with a best friend, you know that you're going to show up for them, you know, you're going to be there, you're going to support them, you listen to them, etc. You need to start doing that to yourself. Why won't you treat yourself the way you would treat a best friend? Like, this is your body, this is your life, this is your journey. So I definitely recommend that you start doing so. And this could be, like, I suppose it's various different ways of improving your self-love journey, improving your self-care. Again, I could do a whole bloody thing on that as well, like a whole episode. But, you know, stuff like, you know, going on a solo date. Oh, I just realised I haven't actually booked a solo date with myself this week. So solo dates, for example, I like to go to cinema. I usually go to cinema once a week, but that's just my like little date. I usually put on something cute, put on a bit of makeup, and I make myself feel good. You know, going out for coffee on your own, going out and going to a museum, or getting your nails done, like doing something with yourself every single week. And treating it like as if you were meeting a best friend, and to not neglect it. You don't want to cancel your best friend, so I would cancel yourself. 24, you won't have it all figured out. This is something that we know we have talked about a lot on the Jess Chattin podcast over the last few months, is that, and again, I will leave a link to a particular episode I'm thinking of, probably from like October, November, about like, it's okay to not have it all figured out. Because you won't have all the answers at any point in life. There's no point in your life where you're probably going to be like, I know everything, everything's all figured out, everything's going to be fine. Sometimes you won't have all the answers, sometimes everything won't be perfect, but it is okay. Nobody has it all figured out. If you know someone that has it all figured out, do let me know, because I want to learn from them. I think we all want to learn from them, but everyone has different struggles, different responsibilities in life, and yeah, as I said, we can all believe what we want online, to think someone has it all figured out. We can make those assumptions about someone, but we can't. 25, friends come and go. So as I said earlier, I don't have many friends, even though I say I don't have many friends, but I actually do have a lot of friends. And a lot of them that have come to me late in life, and a lot of them have come to me in the last like 2 years. I do have a lot of friends from like my early 20s and my childhood as well. But I have a lot of, to be totally honest, I don't have many friends from school or from college. There's probably stuff that some people I would, if I was to meet them on the street, 100% would say hello, but I think it's important to remember that, like, as you grow and as you change in person, sometimes and likewise your friends can sometimes change as well. So I want people to know, and particularly this for anyone in like their early to mid 20s, or even just anyone of any age, like regardless if someone's been in your life for X amount of time, whatever, it doesn't mean they're automatically going to be in your life for the rest of your life. It is okay to sometimes let people go. Sometimes friendships kind of like, I suppose, fade quite naturally, and there's no like, you know, harshness between each other. It just kind of like happens, and I want you to kind of know that it is okay. And I do feel like even sometimes people could come back at later points in your life as well. You know, there's definitely some people that I wish I was still in touch with, and that like I've reached out to since, or I've had people reach out to me, and you know, as they've changed and as I've changed, we've kind of recognized, you know what, we were different people back then, we're different people now, let's meet for coffee, let's have a chat. So I do feel like this goes for anyone that might be, you know, thinking about someone, and like this is like obviously from a friendship, but obviously if it's a partner or whatever, to take this for whoever in your life you think it's applicable to. But if there's someone in your life that you're like, you know what, I've changed a lot, they probably have changed a lot as well, just message them, just reach out and be like, hey, look, I know we haven't talked in like a few years or a few months, whatever. I was, you know, if you were going through things, or just saying, look, I know like I've changed a lot as well, you know, if you're interested, maybe meeting for coffee, having a catch up, like I would love that. And I think definitely do that as well, because you never know what that other person might be thinking as well. And I think you need to make that decision if you feel like you want that as well. But as I said, it's very normal for friendships to come and go. Number 26, it's okay not to settle down. Like, I'm 26. I'm 26! Gas! I'm 30, single as I'm recording this video. Like, I don't know if anything's gonna change in a future video, but anyway. Oh, I'm so single. Yeah, and like all my other friends, most of my friends are at different parts of their life, but I've told myself over the last like 5 years, like, I am so happy for all my friends who are different, who are on different paths of life as well. And I think it's important to remember that, like, everyone has different paths in life, and everyone goes at different speeds, and everyone has different values and different things that they want in life. You know, just because your best friend is getting married doesn't mean that you automatically have to get married as well, like if you don't want that in life. So I think it's okay to like not be quote unquote settled down, because everyone's version of settled down is completely different. We now in 2023 have a lot more choices in life as well, so don't feel like you need to be at a certain place by a certain age. So I definitely do think back when I was 20 that by the time I was 30 I'd have like, you know, a house and a partner and the marriage and, you know, everything that came along with it. I'm nowhere near any of those things in life, and I don't think I really want some of those things as well. So it's stuff that I'm figuring out what I want in life, and I'm actually not putting myself under any pressure to, you know, have certain goals that I need to achieve as well. And sorry, goals I mean to achieve as in like house, marriage and all of that. Number 27, it's okay to cry. I love crying. I think it's a great sense of release. It is something I kind of encourage, because I'm like, it is a sense of release for people. It's kind of like a form of journaling, a form of therapy, but I think we need to normalize crying. I really do think so. I think it's okay to cry. I actually can't remember the last time I cried. Oh my god. I probably cried actually around my birthday, I think, obviously because it was such a monumental or big milestone. But yeah, just be okay with crying, because it does happen, it's human. Crying is not a sign of weakness. I think if anything it's a sign of strength, because you're just releasing any tension that you might be holding in your body as well. So you don't need to keep those feelings bottled in. 28, be authentic. Like literally, that's probably pretty much everything I've said in this entire video, is to try and be more authentic, try and be more you. And like, that doesn't mean online, it means offline. Try and be more yourself in every aspect of life, because life is too short to try and pretend to be someone else, or try to be something, or be like someone, you know, that your friends may want you to be, or your partner wants you to be, or your family wants you to be. The people that love you in life just want you to be happy and want you to be yourself in every aspect possible. And I really do mean that, because I spent a lot of my 20s trying to maybe go down certain paths to please people, to try and be the person that my parents wanted me to be, or my sister wanted me to be, or like my partners at the time wanted me to be. And like, I've gone through so many different stages over the last like 10 years alone of being different types of Jessica, that, as I said, I'm trying to now still figure out who the hell I am when I'm 30. So like, if this gives any consolation to anyone in their 20s, like, just know it's okay. Number 29, so this is the second last point, is to stop comparing yourself. If this is like, if you know, someone else on a fitness journey, or someone else in like a peer in your job, or you know, someone online, is that just don't compare yourself to anyone, regardless of if they're the same age as you, the same height as you, the same bloody hair color. It doesn't matter. Do you know? It's just energy that you don't need to waste, when you can just really like turn it around and just focus on you as well. Because as I said, you just don't know what's going on in someone's life. And the final point I have, and this will be the last one. I know it's quite a long episode, so if you're still listening as you're watching, thank you so much. But the final point I have is to choose to be happy. And I know that's such an easy thing to say, and it's hard. It sometimes can be hard to apply in theory. But again, my choice, and like, sorry, this is my opinion, is that we can choose to be happy. We can choose to be miserable, and not change and stay stuck and stay stagnant, or we can choose to make a change. I do feel like that sometimes we can feel so caught up in life, and we feel so trapped, in regardless of what aspect of life. And I do really like, please, for anyone that is listening or watching, just know that you have a choice, no matter what, to reach out for help, to make that change, to just go after and chase your dreams, to travel the world, to buy that house, to swipe right that guy that you've been dying to go on a date with, or whatever it is. You have a choice to be happy, but you need to show up and just do the action, do the messy action, do the imperfect action, whatever it is. But you're never stuck in any part of life. All you need to just do is focus on the step in front of you rather than the whole staircase. Yeah, I just said that. Most cringe way to ever end a episode. But yeah guys, this is obviously just a very, very long episode. If you are still watching, as I said, thank you. But I really do hope, like as I said, like I covered it a lot in this episode. There was like 30 different points. I know some of them again overlapped. Very hard to kind of think of 30 separate different things. But I really do hope that this episode has provided some clarity, some bit of reassurance, and maybe you just learned something about me today. So yeah, if you're watching here on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to comment below if this helped. If you are listening to me on Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen to this podcast, please make sure to subscribe, follow, leave a review, because obviously the more support and engagement you have on this video, this podcast, the more it's going to be able to grow as well. And I do hope I'm going to be able to do more videos as well once I feel in the mood for putting on a bit of makeup and making myself a little bit decent. Like if you saw me record the last episode, like you will actually, like if you actually saw me, I was like actually like a zombie, but I was on a high on life and I was really excited. But I actually looked an absolute mess behind the camera. So yeah, I will leave it there guys, and I will hopefully see you all in the next episode.